Support for Wrong About Everything comes from Minnesota's credit unions. Credit unions are locally based, member-owned financial cooperatives that return earnings to members through higher savings rates, lower loan rates, and reduced fees. Visit mncun.org for more information.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Wrong About Everything podcast. I am Republican strategist and Twin City Sugar, Brian McDaniel.
Why'd you look at me like that?
Just like having you here.
I am classical liberal and temperamental conservative, Mike Franklin.
I am Minneapolis cultural correspondent, Alysen Nessie.
And we are
Wrong About Everything.
And then there were three.
Oh, no.
Well, you guys can probably guess. I finally had enough of Amy and Javier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every 14 years or no, 12 years. Every 12 years or so, you just need to set the brush afire and then watch as the new promise of spring.
You hit Amy with a trident.
that escalated quickly.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. No, Amy and Javier are
Javier's at the beach.
Javier's
He
at the
just
beach.
posted.
Oh, I assume they were reading Epstein emails.
Well, it could be.
Yeah.
At the beach.
At the beach.
I'm not telling them what to do. But anyway, so we are here at the Minnesota Credit Union Network studios, deep within the recesses of MBC Studios in Northeast Minneapolis.
You're on a heater today. Something's going on.
No.
He's been in such a good mood today, actually. He's been nice, complimentary.
Where's the real Brian?
Well, Amy and Javier are gone. My days are so easy when that happens. But we are in the recesses of MBC Studios here in Northeast Minneapolis. We've got our capable and handsome producer, Gabe Noah, in the other room. And we hope that you're watching us on the YouTubes. Which I have right here and right there and right there.
You are watching us.
I am watching us. And I hope you're watching us on the YouTube. So please like, subscribe, leave a comment. But more importantly, tell your friends. Send it to your friends. Send it to your neighbors. Send it to a total stranger. We would appreciate all of that. Let's spread the word. And we love how many downloads we're getting. But you know what? We want more.
Can always have more.
You can always have more.
The limit doesn't exist.
It does not. Want to talk about limits existing.
Mike Franklin.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that.
Yeah.
Speaking
Yeah.
of segues.
Speaking of segues.
Yeah, it's important to have limits, or else you have to call our good friends at Bradshaw and Bryant. Bradshaw and Bryant, their entire team of attorneys and staff is dedicated to providing the legal advice you need, combined with the service and personal attention you deserve. If you have questions about how they can assist you with a personal injury, wrongful death, or criminal defense matter, do not hesitate to contact them. Consultations are free. Please contact them at 800-770-7008 or at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. And then we have a new sponsor.
We do.
Woo!
We do. The Minnesota Licensed Beverage Association.
I love my beverages licensed.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Unlicensed
unlicensed.
beverages.
No, we were talking
No,
about
no, no.
We were talking about limits earlier. You know
Yeah.
what? Drink within your limits. Drink responsibly.
Mhm.
This is not Wisconsin.
No.
I guess you could be listening in Wisconsin.
You could be listening anywhere. It's a podcast.
There
Don't let your geography stop you from listening.
No.
There are no limits.
Yeah.
The electrons
But,
flow where they flow.
Since 1952, the Minnesota Licensed Beverage Association has been helping licensed beverage retailers in the state of Minnesota with information resources, educational programs, and government affairs services designed to promote and protect their business. All member retailers of the MLBA understand that with them, you are not alone. And with what happened on the federal level, as it came to certain THC beverages, they feel very much alone.
I bet that's true.
There are companies and growers and retailers that are very much left in the lurch by that. So we have 12 months to fix it. Tell your congressman, hands off your...
I think it's going to be fine. Congress is so good at fixing things.
Oh, they're great.
Yeah.
Well,
And
if they don't...
almost a unanimous bill.
If they don't break it, then they can't fix it.
There you
Right.
go. Full Employment Act.
Yeah. So anyway, why...
Speaking of things Congress can't fix.
Well, wasn't there yet.
Oh, sorry.
You might want to
Spoiler.
read that run sheet that I slave over
You
for
got
you.
it right there. It's good.
Anyway, why I was a little cheeky with saying the recesses of MBC Studios is that I was at an event on Saturday where two Plymouth City Council members, Julie Peterson and Clark Greger, they were there. They informed me that they are not dicks, and that Councilmember Peterson is the one who put in the suggestion box, stop saying bowels.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wondered why we were no longer in the bowels.
Nope.
The
No.
bowels.
I mean, because Javier wanted me to no longer say that word, but that's not enough. But you know what? Listener says it.
And listener, notably, not a dick.
Not a dick. Not a dick. Yep. At the same event, which was not a city council led endeavor, also bumped into Farmington City Council member Jake Cordes.
Was he a dick?
He is not a dick.
Yes.
And in fact, his wife worked at my daughter's middle school. And one time she said to my daughter, my husband listens to your dad in the shower.
Absent context is the best way to offer that observation.
So that's fun. That's fun. Well, anyway, thank you, council members Peterson, Greger, and Jake Cordes for helping to teach me about healthy boundaries.
I have specifically had to turn off this podcast in the shower for the reasons that I can't have your voice in my bathroom.
No, it's not. I wouldn't want it there, but it's with me all day.
And us all day, too.
Except when I do my spot on Bill Clinton.
I think that's later in the agenda.
Is it later on the agenda?
It looks like it's coming right up.
I did not sleep with that president. Hillary. But anyway, hey guys, I cannot believe that Javier is not here for
Epstein Day?
For Epstein Day.
It is Epstein Day.
It is. I mean, they have the internet in Puerto Rico.
Our long national nightmare is continuing.
It's probably really just starting. So anyway, we had some movement on the Epstein Files, and remember, there's not really files, per se. It might just be stacks of paper and this and that and doodads and stuff like that. But we're gonna get to find out a lot of it.
Bunch of zeros, bunch of ones.
Yep. Because the Senate approved a House-passed bill that would require the Justice Department to release files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, effectively sending it to President Trump's desk. Now, Trump kind of was really poo-pooing releasing them, and then kind of just said, fine, do it. So I don't know if he signed it yet, but I think he's going to sign it.
Expected to today. Yeah. So
they have 30 days after he signs it for the DOJ to turn over a bunch of stuff. I think obviously they're allowed to redact some things, but I think we're going to find out some stuff. My prediction is we're going to find out way less than everybody thinks we are.
That's been my prediction too, based on nothing, because I have no idea what's in there, but also just based on my observation of how things actually work. My guess is this is going to be a profound disappointment.
I mean, let's not set ourselves up for disappointment. But I did think it was interesting. After the House bill passed, Speaker Mike Johnson was trying to lobby Senate Majority Leader John Thune to add what he called more protections for whistleblowers and victims. But John Thune said, nope, we're good. we're just gonna release it all. So I am curious what is gonna be in there, because obviously Speaker Johnson also didn't want to take a vote on this for months.
Right.
And so he has not, he was obviously outruled since it passed
Well,
only one person voted against?
Only one person. Actually, I meant to look. Who was it? Do we know who voted against
I saw his name earlier. I don't recall it off of the top of my
And they
head.
say bipartisanship is dead.
Yes.
Look at how quickly everyone came together.
The 427.
Well, phrasing.
Which maybe we'll find out.
Yeah. we're going to find out.
We're going to find out bipartisanship was real alive.
Gabe, the TV in the studio went off. I don't know if we can get that back on. But yeah, no.
Did the Russians finally attack?
Well, we're in the right spot because we're in the bunker
Recesses.
We're in the recesses. But in any event, I don't know. I mean, if the Republicans had something, they would have used it. If the Democrats had something, they would have used it. And I just can't believe. I mean, with the Epstein stuff, there were obviously whistleblowers. There were people who were victims. There were people who were actually there who said so and so did such and such. And with Trump, in the emails that they loved to send out with redacted names, it was, and I'm gonna say her last name wrong, Virginia Joffrey is something like that.
I actually don't.
Jufre.
Thank you. Gabe. So she was the person who they're claiming, said that Trump knew of everything and had flirted with this and that. But when she is absolutely on record as saying that wasn't true, and anyone who listens to this program knows. I'm no Trump defender. I mean, he's my spank this week. If they have something on him or any of these guys, throw the book at them as hard as you possibly can, because it's the most disgusting stuff in the world. But with and how did you say it, Gabe?
Jufre.
Yep. But Ms. Jufre, who did take her own life earlier this year, she is the person who was in the picture, the famous picture with Prince Andrew, or former Prince Andrew.
It's just Andrew Windsor Mountbatten now. Mountbatten.
Mountbatten. Wow.
That seems more appropriate.
They couldn't call it Freudian if it weren't.
Mountbatten. Yeah, Mountbatten.
Yes. So Prince Philip finally got his last name attached to somebody.
Yeah.
For those of us who watched The Crown.
It's so
poor
true.
Prince Philip.
So she's that person.
Fine.
So she has been very upfront, and she actually, I don't want to say is complimentary of Donald Trump, but she has said that he was not inappropriate with her. She never saw him be inappropriate. She worked at Mar-a-Lago, and she did say, she's the person who said that Trump told Epstein you can't recruit here, essentially is what it was. So I'm not saying that makes Donald Trump time man of the year. It doesn't. But I think that if you want to go after Trump, he says stuff every day that is more than enough to fill a news cycle. This one, I think they're straining really hard to try to connect it to some stuff that they don't have, strong links.
I mean, 41 women have accused him of rape and sexual assault. I actually have a friend's aunt who worked for the Trump org in the 70s, and he would always grab her chest. It's actually made her quit her job. So he has credible accusations of.
He also bragged about it.
He also, did brag about grabbing women by the cat. So it's not hard to draw a conclusion seeing how close they were. So but there isn't evidence. And yes, Virginia Jufre. Thank you. Did work at Mar-a-Lago as a teenager. Her dad worked at Mar-a-Lago his whole career. So they were close with the Trump family. So maybe, I don't know. I'm going to hold out until anything else may arise, but.
I'm a big fan of Occam's razor. One of my favorite razors. I haven't been using it very much in the last few weeks, but it seems to me, I think Brian already mostly said it, but I feel like we did have a Democratic president and Justice Department for most of the last 5 years. You'd think that if there were, which by the way, was predicated on the entire notion was stopping Trump. And if there was something in there that was more than what Alysen just went through, most of which we already know about, and Trump kind of openly brags about, I think we'd seen it by now.
Well,
but if not, get it out there.
Yeah, get it out there.
Let's go.
I applaud them for eventually, voting to release the files. Obviously, I think that the reason why Mike Johnson and others had
they didn't have the votes.
Well, they didn't have the votes because they were afraid of what Trump would do, and because a big chunk of his caucus are in this sort of like Epstein conspiracy
world, which again, this might be important stuff. I feel like we must have solved all the other problems if this is
I'm not saying that anything that Alysen just said is not true. But what I would say is that there are people that have said he did this to me.
Yeah.
And in this particular case, there is not a victim. There is just our emails, redacted emails out of context. And I just think that it makes it easier for Trump and Trump supporters to say fake news to everything when something is closer to fake news than real news. Now, speaking of that, we don't know what this is, but Mark Epstein,
the brother,
yeah, of Jeffrey Epstein, has shed some light on the Bubba controversy.
Mm-hmm.
Who is Bubba?
And because and I can't remember, was this something that came out of one of the emails? Is that what it was?
Yes.
Where there is the insinuation that Donald Trump engaged in sexual activity with Bubba. And for those of us in politics, when we hear the name Bubba, who do we think of?
I mean, I think of my favorite president, Bill Clinton.
He's your favorite president?
No, he's not.
No, I think of Forrest Gump's sidekick.
I grew up in the 90s, so like it is, a nice, I have fond memories of his presidency because I was a child. Yeah.
I became politically aware in the 90s, and I find it very hard to believe that I also think fondly upon those times. But fondly I do think about those times.
I was in college, so you guys shut up. In fact, in my class, I teach American government at Concordia University every fall, and our last class period on Tuesday, we are on chapter 12 of our book, where we're talking about Article 2 of the Constitution, the executive branch, the presidency, and when we were talking about
which is behind Article 1, by the way.
It is behind Article 1. Never forget that. But in it, we were discussing the different roles and powers that the president has, and one of which, of course, is the power to pardon, and also they go through what impeachment is. And so I had to teach the class. These are the three presidents that have been impeached, and none of them have been removed, and here's why. And I went through Andrew Johnson, and then I went to Bill Clinton, and there was one student. I won't say her name. There was one student who seemed to be very well versed in all the reasons why why Clinton had some trouble back in his day, and I did not enlighten them too much, but I did tell them to Google it.
Well, I think to a younger generation, it's kind of shocking why he was impeached, because it's like when you grow, when you've engaged in politics in the last 20 years, it's like that seems like a Tuesday. I mean, what?
Well,
it seems so quaint.
It's so cute.
And fooling around with an intern is not bribery, treason, or a high crime and misdemeanor, but he did lie about it. So the impeachment came from his perjury.
Yeah.
Is that a high crime and misdemeanor? That is why the Constitution, which is a beautiful unfinished symphony, is got some gray areas.
It's silent on what constitutes a high crime and misdemeanor for this reason. Because these are not meant to be legal standards, they're political standards. And arguably we should be impeaching more presidents, not less, and more of other people for failing to meet a basic standard of...
That's what happened to Javier and Amy.
They've been impeached.
High
crimes and misdemeanors.
But anyway, getting back to Bubba. So Jeffrey Epstein, Mark Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein's brother, has said that Bubba, for better or worse, is not referencing Bill Clinton.
I choose to believe otherwise.
You want that in your head, huh?
The fact this story has everything.
It's got everything.
This has everything.
Almost.
Putin. It's essentially, he's asking, does Putin have pictures of Trump, fill in the blank.
It actually wasn't
Google
Putin.
yourself.
It was MTV's Dan Cortez.
Jupids.
Jupids?
Jewish cupids who just want you to settle down and meet somebody nice. Okay.
Jewish Dracula. They have Blackula, Jewish Dracula. You know what he's named? Sidney Applebaum. Saturday Night Live, copyright is theirs, not ours. So.
Yes, written by John Mulaney in the famous Sifon sketch. Anyways, it really does have everything. Does Putin have photos of Trump? Something, Google yourself. Bubba.
If there's not a more succinct summary of the last 15 years of American politics, I can't come up with it until my spank.
That's actually, that's a good point, Mike.
Thank you.
But it kind of shows, and we're having fun with it, and I don't think that we think that happened, at least not the way it's being.
But we don't know.
We don't know, allegedly, right? But I think it shows a little bit how far each side will go to believe something a la presidents from Kenya, a la whatever it might be, to try to attach something negative to our political opponents. Because in this one, the people who are being trusted in this, supposedly if there's any validity to it at all, are Putin and Steve Bannon, who is
paragons of virtue.
Yeah. So, if all of a sudden Vladimir Putin and Steve Bannon are worthy sources of information, well, I think that's a dangerous precedent to set, and one that we should not celebrate or revel in.
I think they're worthy sources of blackmail. I think that's kind of what they do. So,
This whole thing is gross.
It's pretty gross.
I think we should just talk about it for the rest of the show.
I hope this means it's over, but I fear we've just gone to Act 3, or maybe even Act 2.
But and part of this too is that if we're willing to make stuff up, why don't we have people that are saying, "Yep, I was one of the girls, and this is what Trump did to me."
Yeah,
you mean somebody's got enough money to get someone to say that?
Absolutely. Well, I mean,
Stormy Daniels has enough money.
I was going to say we've seen it happen on comparatively lesser crimes and misdemeanors, if you will.
Yeah. So what do we think about Stacey Plaskett? And as I understand, I came in late. That's why we started a little late today. So I apologize on it. But when I came down, I know that you guys were talking with Gabe about Ms. Plaskett, who narrowly avoided being censured by the body. 3 Republicans broke and went with the Democrats on that for her contact with Jeffrey Epstein, as far as him helping prep her for a congressional hearing or meeting or whatever it might be. Which of you and Gabe, fire in if you're the person on it, but who has the kind of the most information on what exactly went down here?
Well, I did some research, aka Googling 20 minutes ago, and it isn't. So, and Gabe enlightened me to some potentially more information. The way that Politico or other outlets are writing about it is, so she is the delegate from the Virgin Islands. Jeffrey Epstein lived in the Virgin Islands. That's where his
Politico article refers to him as her constituent.
Well, that is technically, sure, that he did live there. So when they were, I'm sorry, I'm stumbling over my words, but when they were questioning Mark Cohen, Jeffrey Epstein was directly texting her what seemed to be planted questions. And she, her defense of the communication was he was a constituent, and she, for a long time, was a drug and gang prosecutor. And she's like, I am used to talking to people that I do not like to get information that I need to craft my, to craft my essentially case or questioning. That I kind of get, but
she said he was a constituent. Like that was part of the reason.
Yeah, that is what she said.
That's constituent service.
Constituent service is important, Gabe.
Even the ones who traffic children. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, I think it's really gross because it was also 2019, and we knew enough then for this to be inexcusable, in my opinion.
The big thing to me, just since you said I can ring in, are the lies that when she said that she didn't know of his crimes at that time, or that she found out when the public did, when. First of all, she was a prosecutor. They knew that's well known in that island that he was under investigation and known beforehand. it's also like locals there had nicknames for that island beforehand. So that's not really feasible. But then also she worked for one of Jeffrey Epstein's, I'm going to blank on I'm going to Google it, but she worked not in his organization, but to someone who's directly connected to him, which I'll find and bring back in.
Yeah. So there's more to the story that is alarming, but she was not censured because they cut a deal between the two caucuses, the GOP and the Dems, because the Dems threatened to censure a House Republican member, and they kind of agreed to not do either.
Mutually assured destruction.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't this just fill you
They
with
did say that
confidence?
Dan Cortez was coaching one of the other
MTV's Dan
Yes.
Cortez.
Yes.
But in other news, something that I never thought would happen, but the bond between President Trump and Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has been torn asunder.
And it's amazing that she's earned strange new respect from people who, until Tuesday, thought she was one of the worst people in politics.
I mean, she apologized. This woman apologized for participating in toxic politics.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good, and we actually shouldn't diminish that, because we need a lot more of it, not a lot less.
We need a little less
At least she's a
cynicism, too.
person. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to stop short of all of a sudden saying I'm an MTG Marjorie Taylor Greene believer, but the scales are off of her eyes a little bit, and I think which is one of the things I don't understand. If you're a Trump person, good for you. Everyone's got their tolerances and that, but for the Trump bobos, the people that defend him no matter what, which of them are prospering now? I mean, if you look at Giuliani, his life went down the toilet. If you look at Chris Christie, Steve Bannon, all these other people, his wake is littered with people who carried his water for him, and and I'm sure this is something that he'd be very proud of, talking about how he got what he wanted from these people without having to necessarily get them in. The smartest person was Sean Spicer, because Sean Spicer just went away.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, probably he didn't write a book. He didn't do all the stuff he could do. He just went away, and I'm sure he's happier for it.
I feel like he has a podcast, because I just saw him, and he has lost a considerable amount of weight.
Well, some of that going around.
So, he's not gone away. But there is, I don't know. I don't know what happened with her. I'm gonna give her an opportunity. Time will tell. But she was so awful and so harmful and so cruel to so many people, and individually, like personally, but just anti-trans, just so cruel. And time will tell to see if it sticks. But everybody loves a redemption story.
There's a great column in the Dispatch, which is one of my favorite publications, by Kevin Williamson, who is a little crabby, but is often really crabby in pursuit of making excellent points. And his point in today's column, called An Act of Contrition, contains a couple things that I resonate with me. One is, I love this line: the word act in act of contrition is not precisely the same as putting on an act, something that Representative Greene has already shown herself to be pretty good at. She should study the difference. But his main point is to say that if she's sincere, which I think we should hope for, but not necessarily trust in, she should resign from Congress, and she would probably elevate her own voice if she has actually found some sort of moral standing to do what seems that she's converting into. I think she should resign from Congress and let someone else take that seat, and I think she would elevate her own platform and probably show us that she's not necessarily just acting in pursuit of power, which, barring anything else, is sort of what my suspicion might be.
She could have a podcast with Sean Spicer.
The Sean Spicer Show.
I'm trying to come up with a space laser reference, but I can't do it.
Marjorie and Spicy coming at you. Well, and really kind of, and President Trump has withdrawn his support from her, and, made several comments about her on Truth Social and other things, but which I'm not going to say is directly connected, but she is directly connecting it to pipe bomb scares at their construction company and death threats against her son. And, hey, everybody, No, don't do that.
But you can believe it, right? I mean, you
Yeah,
can believe
absolutely.
that part of it's, like, and by the way, that's not on Trump. It's on our horrible political environment that people would take it upon themselves to do such things, and it gives us all the more reason to make politics boring again, which is what I hope to spend a little bit of my next.
Oh, I would
chapter in
love
life
to be
doing.
bored. I haven't been bored for.
But it's kind of where I'm going with it.
2016.
If we're analyzing politics like a sport or like entertainment, which is what a lot of us do these days, and is forgivable for doing, it would be interesting to see if this is the first in a series of defections and signifies kind of the fact that it constitutionally, if not actuarially, Trump is a lame duck, and his power may finally be waning, such that people might feel what would not have been abnormal in say the 90s in a better time to publicly break from the leader of their party and to chart a different course. That's normal. Yeah. Or at least it used to be.
It's politics.
It's politics
is what it is.
And so that's where I think if Representative Taylor Greene is sincere, I think she should leave. She should leave the House and maybe have a podcast. Right? Mm-hmm. Maybe form a family band.
She can talk about the affordability crisis.
Mm-hmm. She could.
That is,
it's
and
important.
healthcare.
And healthcare. Yeah, healthcare is very important. It's a part of the affordability crisis, one might say.
Well, and for all the conservatives that are pulling out their hair listening to this saying, well, why is nobody defending Trump or this or that? Well, I don't have to. But I also think that if Marjorie Taylor Greene leaves, the institution and the country will be well served by her taking some people with her. Lauren Boebert, members of the squad, take them. Go.
We won't miss you.
0%. Let's elect regular Democrats, regular Republicans, and get back to actually talking about things that aren't, worthy of TMZ literally every day.
Remember the deficit?
They don't.
I do.
Or remember when Republicans used to care about the deficit?
Kinda.
Because you never.
I remember when they say they did.
Yeah, they said they did. The policies never reflected it, but
Paul Ryan was sincere. I'll go to my grave on that one.
Yeah,
he never missed Arm Day.
No.
Yeah. No. I feel like old man yells at cloud, but once upon a time, Mitt Romney was the worst person in the United States of America. John McCain was the worst person. No, Barack Obama. Yeah. Don't vote for him. Don't like them. Think that they're politically harmful. But these were pretty decent people,
right?
By and large. And I think that Trump and the Congress, they only have the power that we give them. And I think that a lot of us forget that. And they don't care because they have reliable votes, either from the far right or the far left. And then if you know people are going to vote for you, you can do whatever the hell you want, and that's exactly what's happening. Let's get some good news. How about that? Should we get some good news?
I could go for some good news.
We're running a little long.
What was that? I thought that was the good news segment.
Well, let's have this be the only thing we talk about in Minnesota sports. But Minnesota sports. I'll talk about Minnesota sports later. Yeah. But on this program, and with Marjorie Taylor Greene and her family, we were just talking a little bit about political violence, and of course, the most devastating, important thing that happened this summer was the assassination of Melissa Hartman and her husband, and the attempted assassination of John Hoffman and his wife and his daughter. And the Hartmans did not survive. The Hoffmans miraculously survived 17 shots. So, God was certainly with them that day. But even though Senator Hoffman, who we're all close with, Senator Hoffman has made public appearances. He has done a little bit of work for his constituents. But let's remember, he was shot not 8 times. I think it was 8 times. And he had more surgery last week, and he has been discharged. And they were repairing the bullet's impact to his kidney, bladder, and colon. And as we understand it, the surgery was a success. I don't know if there's more surgery, but John Hoffman is somebody that we've always rooted for politically, and now we definitely want to root for his complete recovery, because I think he's an important person to have to remind us of how foolish some people can get arguing about politics, because it is not worth someone's life, no matter what you think.
He is always focused on the people. But it's my understanding that this was like the big surgery. So he's had many surgeries over the last few months, but this one was pretty critical in his journey of recovery.
It's pretty amazing. I know him less than you all do. I've never had a bad experience with him per se. And I agree with what Brian just said about his very important symbolism going forward, which is just another burden he's going to be asked to carry in addition to all the others. But just as a human being, when he said he was going in to have this surgery, it was like, wow, the pain he must have been carrying. I mean, physical pain for the past 4 months, 4 months since the shooting. It's just got to be
June 14th.
Okay, so 5 months. So it was got to just be unbearable. And it was shocking to me that he still had this much left ahead of him, because for 3 of those months he's been relatively public, and I agree with everything you both said, and wish him nothing but the best, and believe and trust that he'll play an important role in what comes next.
Let's go to plugs. Anybody have anything?
You and I are going to be on Almanac on Friday.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. I did not know who else was on.
It's me.
Do we know who the other people are?
No.
Okay.
Not me.
Not you.
It's not Mike.
Not
Mike.
Mike.
Sorry, guys.
And Amy was on, I think, last week. So potentially not her. So.
Amy and I, every Tuesday, are on the BS show with Bob Sansevier. So please find us wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Listen to us right after Sean Spicer. And then Amy, every other Friday, is on the Al Travis show. And sometimes I fill in for her there. And that is the same thing. And those are both a ton of fun for us to do. I also have a new podcast with a friend of the program, Carla Bigham, called Wrong About Sports. So you can find that on YouTube. And this week we talked about the Bears-Vikings game. And then, as Alysen said, I will be on Almanac this Friday. But there are 2 things I want to talk about as far as Shannon Watson, who is a great friend of the program and runs a terrific. She
just had a comment.
She just posted things. She misses the tan suit.
Not only a great callback to the show, but also reminiscent of better. Remember when Obama wore a tan suit?
Oh, I do.
And everybody lost their minds.
Oh my God, it was so beneath The Office.
It was. There it is. It's Shannon Watson.
I'm not going to lie.
Summer.
I probably had a problem with it then.
I'm sure you did.
When we debated serious things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Obama. Thanks, Obama. But anyway.
Sounds like what they do in Kenya.
Yeah. But Shannon Watson leads a fantastic group called Majority in the Middle, and they're celebrating their 5-year anniversary. And they had this last weekend, they had their 2nd annual Purple Party. And 2 years ago, the podcast as a whole, I think, Alysen, you were with us on that.
Yes.
We, didn't do a podcast there, but did a speaking engagement there, and then this week I was able to do comedy at the Purple Party, and it was a lot of fun.
Were you funny?
From the reaction, sometimes.
That checks out.
I was gonna say that's been my experience.
Periodically.
Yeah.
Not unfunny.
Not unfunny. Sometimes you got to learn important lessons about healthy boundaries.
Recess.
Evidently, we weren't quite there yet, but it's okay.
Any big swings and misses you care to share? Because I'm dying to know.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you after the show. There was one ginormous one. Oh boy. Yeah.
I respect you more already.
Yeah. But in any event, I got to do comedy there, but I support the Majority in the Middle monthly. Hopefully you will too. But they're fantastic and worth your time. And then actually tomorrow we tape on Wednesdays. Tomorrow, Thursday, is Give to the Max Day, and I am actually going to be performing at the Strike Theater in Minneapolis as part of a big fundraiser for the Strike Theater on Give to the Max Day, where they are going to do 12 hours of comedy and monologues and improv.
All you?
Nope.
What hour did you get?
I
Ryan?
got the coveted 2:00 in the afternoon.
Oh,
slot.
wow. You know, you've made it when.
Well, they wanted to make sure that I had no distractions.
Brian's a not ready for primetime player.
Yeah, something like that. But anyway, I was super glad to be picked to do it. Stage time is always good, and it'll be the first time I'm performing at Strike. So please go to my Facebook, and you can find a way to contribute to the Strike Theater. And I would appreciate if people would do that as well. Mike Fotis runs it there. He's been on our show before, so they're good people. He's a big Cubs and Bears fan, so I'm sure that's probably the only reason I got on. So
Gotta have a reason.
okay, let's do Spanks and Things. Who wants to go first?
I can go first. So along the way, within the last couple of years, I heard of this Olivia Nuzzi person.
Nuzzi.
Ostensibly a journalist.
Cutesy Newtsy.
Cutesy Newtsy, is that what they call her?
No, I just said.
Well, apparently she's written a book, and also her ex has started a Substack. His name is Ryan Lizza. He's I had heard of a fairly prominent DC reporter. So I guess my spank this week is to the entire DC political media blob, which seems to have merged into one giant, terrible reality show. Apparently in Lizza's Substack, he goes down a path where he describes their relationship, he and Nuzzi working on a book together about the presidential election, only to find that his beloved has been acting inappropriately with, I don't know how far he goes, I didn't actually read his Substack, but I heard it described, with
Keith Olbermann.
He's on the list too, but this was with a candidate for president at the time, and then I'm nodding. I heard about this. There's RFK, right? No, apparently this was in 2020, and she had a terrible relationship with Mark Sanford, who you might remember.
Yeah, the guy who disappeared
into the Andes.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm going to spank the whole DC political media blob, because if the point of today's show could be summarized into one story, I think it might be this one, not the one we talked about earlier, but it sort of like reinforces that we are governed by and reported to by largely terrible people. And it's like sort of like we're as you learn more about this story, you just want to stop listening because it's basically Real Housewives of the Acela Corridor or something like that. But we need people can only be people can only react to the information they get, and the information they're getting is not being sort of objectively given to them by people with reporting with a skeptical eye. Another thing I learned about Miss Nuzzi is she got her start in journalism after leaving the failed Anthony Weiner for mayor campaign.
I have friends that worked on that. I lived in New York at the time. It was
So it goes all the way back to Wienergate or Ghazi. I forget if it was
Sydney Leathers.
So we should, honestly, we as voters should sort of stop reading these folks. We should certainly stop buying their books. They're terrible, and we should start treating them more like cast members and less like participants in what's actually a fairly important set of circumstances. So Olivia, Ryan, RFK, Keith Olbermann, Anthony Weiner, Mark Sanford. Thought we were done with him. You're all spanked by me. You are part of the problem.
I was in South Carolina when he disappeared.
Were you?
I remember it because and
were you questioned?
I was not.
Because is his departure what brought us Nikki Haley? Or was it, or at least, I can't remember the timeline. That was like 2007 or 8, something like that.
2009.
Yeah,
2009.
It was before 2010. I know that.
The year before.
Because didn't he then come back and serve in Congress?
think so.
So after and the again seems quaint, but the scandal was he had an affair, and which again bad. You shouldn't do that, but seems very quaint by comparison to things that have animated us up to and including today.
Yeah, he was in Congress from 2013 to 2019.
Yeah,
succeeded by Joe Cunningham.
Oh, there you go.
One of the Democrats' most handsome members
so he's
of our party.
Not a regular Joe?
No. He's
well, anyway, he's been spanked by me and potentially others. So we're done with him. And I want to thank this week. I don't mean to be this crabby, but everything sucks. But I want to thank, and I think that I missed this by a week necessarily if we're limiting our spanks and thanks to what happened in the last calendar week. But I want to thank last week's Northern Lights. We don't have now. First, because everything has to have an element of terrible. I saw a bunch of posts about how, well, they were only so pretty because it was a massive geomagnetic storm that was this close to shutting the whole electromagnetic system of the Earth down, and we all would have died. They were real pretty, and in an age where we don't have many shared cultural moments anymore, at least not like at a broad level, this was really a lot of fun to watch everybody's pictures come through and kind of text friends and family. And it was like, we don't watch the same shows anymore, but when, the show's in the sky and God's putting them on or the sun or whatever you prefer, we all took a minute and stopped being terrible to each other.
What about God's son?
God's an important guy. I'm reading a book about him.
Yep.
Ryan Sandberg. Did you guys see it? I'm curious.
Oh yeah. I actually was running an errand and outside of town, which for me gets you pretty far outside the city lights pretty quickly. And my phone started to blow up, and I was watching pictures come through, and I went, oh yeah, I forgot that's tonight. And so I pulled over, shut my lights off, and looked through my cell phone. I got some awesome pictures. So it was really cool. Really cool.
And my wife, for the first round of the Northern Lights, she was driving to our cabin. I couldn't go up, so she was driving, and she had to pull over and just observe.
Yeah.
Took a couple of pictures, which were beautiful. But one of my bucket lists, not to sound like a privileged douche, but I want to do one of those things like in Iceland or wherever it is, where like you get to be in an igloo that is clear on top, and then I just want to like fall asleep with that as my canopy.
You know who's done that?
Who?
Brother Joe, my brother-in-law Joe. Yeah,
okay.
We'll get you a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a guy.
He's got a guy.
Got a Northern Lights.
Got a Northern Lights guy.
That's really outdoorsy of you. You're not really.
Well,
oh no, they have it's fully climate controlled.
Oh, I am aware of the glamping.
Yeah, this is
But I'm a little surprised, but yeah, that's cool.
He'll probably shut the hatch and like turn on a terrible reality show instead of
a friend of mine just went pheasant hunting in a glamping fashion with he got a last minute invite to something that was above all of our stations, and he's describing it to me. It sounded fine. It sounded fun.
Sure.
I called my dad about the Northern Lights. I go, hey, the Northern Lights are out there. He goes, nah. He just wasn't interested. He's like, nah, not interested.
You've seen one light, you've seen them all.
Yep, I guess.
And obviously, we know that it's it's more science than anything else. But whenever I see just something that is so devastatingly beautiful, I mean, that's where God lives. I mean, that God did that, and I just. The Northern Lights are something that I didn't get to see. I didn't get to see them either time.
You posted that picture that with essentially the same caption at McDonald's.
I was going to say, he also did it at his wedding.
I said, actually,
he's been using
because of climate change.
Which wedding? In any event, so yeah, that was beautiful. And thanks for reminding everybody, Mike. It was nice for a couple of days to just have everyone's feed, just essentially be the same picture over and over and over.
Some things can bring us together. I mean, like massive geomagnetic events.
Yep.
So.
Giddy up, Allie.
All right, I mean, this week is heavy. We spent a lot of time talking about a man who sex trafficked children. And so I have 2 spanks because I'm going to stay in a negative space. But my first spank is a little more cheeky. It's to an author at CNN who put together a Hanukkah gift list idea. And I don't think they've ever met anybody Jewish, because these are the most ridiculous things I have ever seen in my life. So, and I don't I heard about it today. Jordana on WCCO is talking about it, and so I had to go look at it, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is amazingly ironic." So the first item is a snowman ornament that's wearing, and the snowman has a little sweater on with a menorah and is holding a dreidel, but it's an ornament. Why would you give a Jewish person an ornament? What are they going to hang it on?
The Hanukkah tree.
It's a bush. It's a Hanukkah bush, but it's not standard practice.
Sometimes catches on fire.
Yeah.
Stay out of my bush.
Another item is extra virgin olive oil, and it says something that they could even use, the Jews, could even use to fry latkes during the holiday. You don't fry a latke in extra virgin olive oil. You put that in straight up vegetable Crisco oil.
Everyone knows this.
Yes. And then lastly, I mean, there's a whole, Google it, it's amazing. But there's a candle, latkes and lights is the scent. And if you've ever made latkes, you know your house smells like it, and it is just smells like fried oil. And it's a list that clearly was not put together by someone of the Jewish faith or who had ever met anybody who might be Jewish.
If you were to put Alysen and I together, we make half of a Jew.
We do make half of a Jew. And if you think Jews control the media, absolutely not. This is so wrong.
This is proof.
Yeah.
My second spank is
best Hanukkah gifts under $100. Camp Snap camera. It's just a camera.
It's just a camera.
It's like every Jew needs a camera.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Great find, Alysen. This is terrible.
This is Jordana.
We're getting dangerously close to my joke that bombed.
Oh, well.
Anyway, sorry.
Okay, my second spank is serious. My spank is to the Trump administration, specifically the HUD, the Housing and Urban Development Agency. So professionally, I do a lot of work in homelessness and housing at the Capitol and at the federal level. And HUD is a critical, funder of homelessness and housing programs across the country. They have made a decision to completely kind of turn on its head the 2 decades of systems that we have built in this country around responding to homelessness. And that is the solution that we know works, which is permanent supportive housing. Because if people who are chronically homeless, living outside, typically need assistance when they move inside. And that comes just like, think about like case management services, getting medications, making sure people have food, making, just like the day-to-day life of transitioning into living indoors. And because it's a huge adjustment and people need help. Oftentimes they're suffering with substance use disorder, mental health issues, etc. And so there's usually, services. When we say services, we mean a broad breadth of things. But HUD has come out with this funding opportunity for what we call continuums of care. We have 11 in Minnesota, and those are local, community-based boards that decide what they're going to use their federal money on to respond locally to local needs. And they have just completely changed they'll fund, actually decreasing by like 90% the amount of money going to permanent supportive housing, focusing on transitional housing, which sounds okay, but we also know that's not what people who are chronically homeless need. And I'm just really upset because we have spent 2 decades, organizations have spent decades building up programs that we know work and are seeing positive outcomes. It may not feel like it in Minnesota, but because homelessness has become, particularly since the pandemic, so much more visible. But we do a pretty good job in Minnesota compared to other states. I'm really proud of our state investments, our federal investments. And this just jeopardizes so much, and it will just harm so many people. And I'm just, so you're spanked, HUD.
Let's not undo something in a minute that took decades to assemble.
Also, organizations have until December 15th. I mean, this is like to submit their new applications for funding to their continuum of care. That is like 3 weeks, and it's. What the crisis is the timeliness, because it's absolutely insane, and it is going to wreak havoc across the country.
Thank you very much. All right. Well, I will go, and my spank is going to be to President Donald Trump. There are some things he says that I agree with, but there are things that he says that I agree with, but I don't agree with how he says it. He's got a way. Obviously, he's successful with it, and I'm a nobody. But sometimes I am pretty appalled by what he says and how it reflects on American society, the American people. So I'm spanking him because this week he defended the Saudi crown prince over the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. Washington Post reporter. This was a number of years ago. Trump's quote, "You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial," referring to Khashoggi. "A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or you didn't like him, things happen. Murder happened. And I get it.
And I think dismemberment, too.
Yes, I get it. The Saudis are important to us in a lot of ways, but they're not important enough that we need to condone the assassination of people. If what would happen if the Crown Prince talked about Melissa Hortman, not that he would, but this is something that as a society, we can't get all quiet and sad about Melissa Hortman and John Hoffman and then have no problem with something like this. We are collectively better than this. And I get it. Trump's just talking out of his ass as he does. And
quiet, piggy.
Yeah, there won't be any repercussions for it. So he knows he can say whatever he wants and whatever. But this is something that is really, it's not offensive. It's just embarrassing that the president of the United States, out in front of everybody, not behind closed doors, not yucking it up with his friend, the Saudi prince, locker room talk and whatnot. No, this was just out in front of everybody and just being so careless. I mean, was it just something that happened when somebody shot his ear? I'm sure he probably thought it was a bigger deal than that. And we live in a world where this shit happens. And we live in a state where that shit happened. And it's not funny. And we can't forget when it happens. And, anyway, this is unnecessary. It was a jackassy move. And I'm embarrassed by it. And so he is spanked. My thank is going to be to the Bears. So this last weekend, the Bears came a-calling. Mike, you were there, right?
I was there.
Yeah.
They looked awesome, the Bears.
Well, they looked
fabulous.
They looked okay.
So good.
Well, so a friend of me and Alysen, he called me up and he goes, "Well, both teams sucked." And I'm like, "Yeah, but only one of them was supposed to." So anyway, the Bears came into US Bank Stadium. They beat the Vikings. The Vikings looked terrible. The Bears looked slightly better than terrible.
The Vikings quarterback, I should say, the Vikings passing game looked terrible.
Well,
defense looked pretty good.
What's fun, because we crap on Twitter and TikTok and all that stuff, but I've seen multiple TikTokers breaking down Viking quarterback JJ McCarthy's mechanics, and I've learned stuff. So anyway, these things, if you're on the right side of it, you can learn things off TikTok. But anyway, the Bears won, and I'm not here to gloat because
you're not.
Oh, you really?
No, because the Bears lost to the Vikings in Chicago, and I know how much it sucks to get picked on, so I'm not doing that. But I'm thanking the Bears because they didn't ruin my weekend, and now when someone gives me crap, which they do, I got something to say. So. Bear down.
I do want to say that the president, Kevin Warren of the Bears, announced today they're doing $5 tickets so more kids and families can come and actually go to a game, which I think is really cool.
That was not my experience at US Bank Stadium. And actually, I would say too that I don't go to very many Vikings games. I watch pretty much all of them, but was there with my son and with some clients and friends, and it was probably 25 to 30% Bears fans. I mean, obviously the Bears fans travel pretty well, but it was reminiscent of go to a lot of Gopher games. It was reminiscent of when we play Nebraska and the "Who Hates Iowa" chant breaks out. They would show the Packers highlights, and at that time they were losing to the Giants. I think at one point by like 10 points, and the whole stadium just erupted in cheers.
Oh, so. You're talking about the Bears rival. Green Bay Packers.
Well, it was a unifying moment, Brian, and so I was giving Bears fans credit, which in retrospect
I don't want to take that away from you.
Shouldn't have
apologize.
Yeah,
you should have invited me to go to the game.
Perhaps I should have.
He did. I didn't want to go.
I was like, you literally said I don't like going.
I don't like going. I mean, you can get me to any sporting event, but a football game, which is one of my favorite sports, is something that I just enjoy the experience better on my own couch. And I fully expected the Bears to lose, and people throw ice at me.
Well, I learned
that happen
about Bears fans because one of our clients is a Bears fan, and fully expected them to lose throughout the game. Even when when the Vikings looked completely.
Well, every Bears game's the same. They look okay, then they blow it, and now they come back.
Yeah.
But they make you not really enjoy the experience. But you know what? Being 7-3 is better than not.
Yeah.
So, I thank them. I thank both of you as well.
Oh,
and with that,
thank you.
And with that, I am the least disappointed in the Bears I've been in a long time. Brian McDaniel.
I am pining for the fjords, Mike Franklin.
I am always disappointed by the Vikings, Alysen Nessie.
And we are wrong about everything.
MBC. No relation to NBC.